Okay, so maybe this will be a normal thing for Saturdays. I don't know, but there's gonna be a lot of projects to work on. So I figured while I'm doing something with my hands, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna talk to you guys. Today I figured I'd just give you a couple thoughts on what you may. I don't know if you ever heard of the old Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck. I'm going to do something kind of like that. You might be ready to change and change the way you're living. Maybe not a whole homestead. Maybe you just decided to change a little bit of your life. So let me explain a little bit to you here. Let's see if we can get a little bit so we don't get glare on you guys here. There we go. Now, this here is just some ribbon we got for free. I think it's ribbon. Any craft people out there know better, but it's kind of like a really fine mesh. Like I said, it's like a ribbon you would win at a fair or whatever. So that's what this is. So anyway, my thought process of thinking through this and why I wanted to tell you guys what things that you might be ready to change your lifestyle, might be ready to homestead, might be ready to farm or whatever. Yeah. Let me preface this by saying when I was younger, not so much younger than today, but yeah, not no Beatles song. But when I was younger, my focus wasn't on any of that stuff. In fact, I wasn't interested in any of this stuff, so I didn't do it. But my point here is, if you're younger, if you like going out with your friends, if you like going out to the bar and having a drink, if you like all that kind of stuff, if you like being in a city, if you like doing all that stuff, then you're not ready yet. If you'd rather sit home, go to sleep early so you can wake up the next morning and check your garden out and see what's growing, probably ready to give up living close to a city, living close to anything. When I was younger, I used to go out and sing karaoke all the time. So maybe one day I'll sing some more songs in here for you, but that's what I used to do. I used to go sing karaoke all the time. And I'd go and drink all the time. I should say I would go to drink at karaoke bars. Now I would drink at home and stuff too, but even then though, I was smart. You know, I didn't have any kids drinking like that, so I pretty much had a wide open area where I could live at, and so I wanted to. Since I like to do that kind of stuff, and since my job relied on my driver's license, which you should probably do this anyway, even if it doesn't, but I would make sure that I was in walking distance to a bar that did karaoke. Whether that was a mile or less or whatever, because if you do that, guess what? You can walk back and forth to the bar, which will also keep you from getting too drunk because you have to go walk home. But you can walk back and forth to the bar. You don't have to worry about ever, well, I don't have enough money for a taxi, I'll just drive today or whatever. You know, you're close enough. And so I would do that. And I guarantee you, me doing that has probably saved me jail time, all kinds of stuff, just because I lived close enough that driving not only wasn't necessary, it was kind of actually silly in some sense. It would take me longer to go in my car, start it up, and then move it and go park than it would just be walk where I was. Some of them I could literally see from my backyard. That doesn't mean you have to do that when you're younger and live by a bar. So just want to be clear on that. My point is if you can't see yourself being happy, being out, let's say you want to do you're thinking about homesteading or whatever, you're thinking about farming or whatever you're thinking about. If you aren't ready to give up amenities that are close to you yet, I wouldn't recommend jumping into this yet, right? So you might be ready to homestead, or depending where you're at in life, if you're willing to sacrifice amenities and all that kind of stuff for the ability to have a property or a different house or whatever you're thinking. So that's what I would look at first. Another reason you might be ready, and now see, I've cut this in half. It was already folded in half from the thing, but then I cut it in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and probably cut down this seam that's in the middle of this one still. And now these are going to be lengths. I may leave them this length. I may make them foot lengths, but this, I'm going to tie my tomatoes and other things with this. With it being so wide, and it's actually, it'll hold together, but it's loose enough that the plant can push it out of the way, so it won't grow into my tomatoes like a string or even a zip tie would if you don't check on them. It'll push this out of the way as it grows out farther. And so, at least that's my thought. We're going to try it. Right now I've got string out there that I used to tie, and then I put some zip ties on last week, and I let those loosen up to where it's kind of a hole. It's not all the way tight against the vine. The vine has room to grow, but it's going to at least make the vine sit on that stake somewhat, but that will still loose, and I kind of like it a little tighter, just in case a breeze blows by or whatever. I don't want it to blow into that and then maybe go over and break. So I got these now, and this is tied up near the top, and I'll probably go out and show you guys. We'll go do a little walk around the garden tomorrow, and kind of show you how that's going. So all I did was cut these, so that's what I'm doing in the background, and that's why I'm doing this. And then my phone said, I don't like you either, I guess. So, whatever phone. On my little tripod. So what you want to look at, another thing is, don't try to do and this is from what I've learned, and this is, my plan wasn't necessarily to do this homesteading stuff. Hell, I didn't even garden before I got here. But our thought was, we need to move to a spot. We don't make a lot of money. We don't have a lot of credit. I don't have, family's got a lot of money, and my parents are all gone. My grandparents are all gone. There's nobody's gonna, help me with the down payment to get a place. So the thought was, well, we have an opportunity to buy a mobile home, and yes, they're not, how do I put this? It's not the greatest thing in the world, and we're in a park and all that stuff. And I mean, as far as where we're at and the lot we're on and all that kind of stuff, other than the ability to have chickens and goats and stuff like that, is actually a really good lot, and it's fine if you just want to garden and stuff like that. So just want to put that out there. But we bought this in anticipation of using balance as we paid it down, and we found this one as a park we're in. The owner of the park allow you to buy that mobiles on contract. Well, if we're paying, and I think we were paying the same amount, if not maybe a little more a month, and the apartment we were renting that was closer into town, or like, I guess in town, I don't know why I say closer in town, but in town, especially compared to where we're at now and where we plan on going. But we were able to move out here and get it on contract and pay every month. And so instead of all that rent money, because part of the money that we pay every month goes to the lot rent, and that is gone, okay? But part of it goes to paying the house payment and house down. So a lot of people look at things and go, well, it's not the ideal way to do things, or it costs and stuff like that. And we go into things like that fully aware that it's not necessarily good deals for us, price or as far as interest or anything like that, but we're trying to do it piece by piece and build it up. Now, the funny part is the amount of money that we may be able to sell this place for it might be enough to buy our property, and we got the RV now. So we may end up, even though we didn't plan on it, as far as bills to a company or a person goes, as far as place to live and all that stuff, we may end up with none. But that wasn't our plan. Our plan was to get this place and then fix our credit and at least some of our money, even if we couldn't put it necessarily into a savings account, this was kind of like a savings account for us. Okay, so now we have quite a bit of equity pay down and money-wise, and we've worked and worked and worked, and you can see behind me, we're still working on it. That's the guinea pig cage right there, by the way, if you're interested. But we're still doing work. We're still painting. We're still cleaning it all up in here. So, that's still getting done, and it's going to be, I talked to a real estate agent that's going to be listed here pretty soon. But if you're watching this and you're interested and you want to contact me, please do. Like I said, it's a nice house. We've been fixing it up. When we first moved in here, I mean, it was, the walls were like a pea green color. Some of the wiring was messed up. There's a lot of stuff that I fixed and put better stuff into, not necessarily to sell it, but because I don't know how I'm going to live here, and you know what? I want to live in a nice place. I want to live in a place that's put together well. I want to live in a nice place. So, that being said, the fact that we did that, and I had no idea that this was what, you know, we had such a passion to do together, you know, and luckily we did. We didn't talk about, you know, she saw the videos and started talking about stuff like that, and her family regarded stuff. My family did, but it just never, you know, occurred, and we both enjoyed it so much that that's why we're doing it. But my whole point was, we got this not necessarily thinking that we were going to do it, but we were getting this so that we could pick something up and maybe get a nice big down payment out of it. So, unless you're willing to do stuff like that and, you know, suck it up and sacrifice for a little while, you know, because we're not by any of my family that we can go see all the time or anything like that, or hers or whatever, or necessarily most of her friends are, you know, I have one friend that lives out here, and that's the reason I found out about this place, because she lives out here, but that was it. So if you're not willing to do that, even if it's just temporary or whatever, are you really ready to go take care of animals or a garden or whatever? Because those are two things. Well, the plant's dying is sad. Animals dying is probably even sadder. And if you want to start doing that before you even know that's what you want to do and you just want to jump right into it, well, if you can't sacrifice a little bit by living in a mobile home or doing some work yourself or anything like that, I don't think you're ready for any of the other stuff. You know, I'm not deluding myself into thinking it's going to be an easy time or it's going to be easy to do or any of that stuff. So I just want to let you know that. I'm getting distracted by you guys. I'm trying to sit here and cut my ribbons into strings. Anyway, so, you know, it's just one of those things that you guys need to, you know, think about. And let's put this, it's not even necessarily homesteading, but you really need to start thinking about what you want in life, because no matter how long you think life's going to be, or, you know, oh, that's so far away, it's not. And I can tell you this from experience, and this is just me at 36 telling you this. So time goes by a lot faster the older you get. Waiting a week, waiting a month, waiting a year for something, you know, when you're a kid or when you're in your teens, or hell, even sometimes into your early 20s, you know, waiting that long for something, that's a long time. When you get this old, it's not that long anymore, you know, and I'm sure if I ever make it to 80 and 90, then decades already wouldn't be that long anymore. So, and one thing that, even though you have to be patient and all that kind of stuff, that, you know, as far as time goes and growing and all that stuff, ironically, having the garden seems to make the year go by faster because you're like, oh, I only got this many more weeks left to plant stuff. I hope this gets right before I harvest it, all that kind of stuff. So you have to, whatever you want to do in life, you need to start doing it. That's my suggestion, and it goes right along with my, my little model or motto, not motto. Don't don't procrastinate. Germinate. Just start making stuff happen. Even if that doesn't mean you have to quit your job or whatever, but whatever you want to learn, like, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to do this. Well, why don't you take a little piece of something of that? Let's say it's woodworking. Well, go buy yourself a little drill, and just start learning how to use that. So, but you're definitely not ready to start homesteading if you can't live away from any of the amenities. Now, since I wasn't truck driver over the road and all that kind of stuff, me living in an RV is not going to be a big deal when I was younger. So if I want to go history on you guys, when I was younger, I was camping in a motorhome when, let's see, the motorhome I'm getting right now is a 79, and I remember us having an RV when I was, I think, 3 or 4. So that means that the RV I'm in now would only have been like 6 years old, maybe 6 years old, when I remember us taking our RV trip. And that was I don't even remember the year, honestly. I think it was an early 60s GMC pickup body that somebody had, I don't think it was actually manufactured, but somebody had taken and actually made a camper that was permanently attached to it. So kind of like a classy motorhome, but before classy motor. And that's what I went in when it was 84, So, or not 84, it was like 86. So, I've done it before. My family, that was a big thing my family did. Family reunion. We go to a campground or we go to somebody's property and everybody had motorhomes. It was a big joke. In order to be in my family, you had to have an RV, and lots of people had 12 at the time, so 12. Well, I've got an RV now, and I've got 2 dogs, so ended up that way even without trying. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys today on Saturday. Maybe I'll do things on Saturday and sit around and maybe talk to you guys. I think here probably by the end of this month, if not a live stream, or actually no, it will be a live stream closer to before the end of this month, I hope. And we'll do it from inside the RV, and maybe that's, it'll be Saturdays with Roger and Bob. Sound good? I think it sounds good. And I'm sorry for the glare. Forget some of my glasses. I got the window open right there, so forgot to close it. But that's what I wanted to let you guys know today. And I wanted to thank you for watching. And don't procrastinate, germinate. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.